Hopefully this is working. Welcome. Yes, it's already Christmas in most of the world, but we're West Coast scrubs. So I have a little story to read here. "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. I in my kerchief, and Pops in his cap, had just settled our heads for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what's the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash. I tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of new fallen snow gave luster to the midday, the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and a tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called him by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Donner and Blitzen, on Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away all, as dry leaves before the hurricane fly, when they met with an obstacle, mount up to the sky. So up to the rooftop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and the pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, and his nose like a cherry. His little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. A stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke had encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly. It shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, jolly old elf. I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye, a twist of his head, soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all those stockings. Then he turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. And I heard him exclaim, before he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Whoopsie, a little bit of typo there. Made me screw up the reindeer part, but hey, what can you do? Greetings, friends. How are you? I don't have a tripod, so this becomes awkward. But let me get a box to put this a little higher, because laying down is a bit hard on my elbows right now. Hope sound was okay. How's everybody's Christmas Eve? Let's go to live chat, not just top chat. I don't know why YouTube does this. Good, good. I'm glad you guys are here. Oh, hi, Roger the Pirate. How are you? You just come from 41 South channel. Good to meet you and see you here. Hey, Smitty. Hey, Desi. C-Pro. Urban. Hello. Hi. Ryan B. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. Sounds good? Good. Okay. The fire is dying. I need to give it a poke, and let me get that box here. So tell me, how's your guys' holiday going? And it's what night of Hanukkah? I don't remember. Should know this stuff by now. Okay, let's get this lowered. Lord. Sorry, this is not going to be straight because Samsung loves to put on their phones the buttons right in the middle of the phone. So when you put something in the phone holder, it's, yeah, I'm going to be driven mad by this. Let's scooch it over a little bit more. Okay, it's still slanted. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's fix this. Let's fix this. Okay. So I'm happy about tomorrow. I think, well, as happy as I can be right now about Christmas, but I think that Mom's gonna be able to come over because it's the icy, slushy, snowy stuff mostly melted today. And I wouldn't want her to come over if it was treacherous driving, but you know, C-Pro's gonna go get her. He brought me a nice gourmet dinner. That was not supposed to rhyme, but I'm still in that poem mode, okay? Don't judge. All right, let's see if that takes. We have very wet wood because grocery stores like to keep it outside. Why? Why? Okay, y'all can see the fire now. Can you feel the heat? Can you feel it? It's seventh night of Hanukkah? Okay, cool. Sorry, friends, I gotta jiggle the thing to even read chat. Nice. So I was asking C-Pro, I'm like, okay, so like it's a big holiday and everybody like passes around presents and stuff. He's like, nah, it's insignificant. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, Desi, wait, do you have power? Oh, you're trying to keep the pipes from freezing. Yeah, jeez. Yeah, and Roger there's from, he's an Aussie, right? Not Kiwi, Aussie. Yeah. My friend in Australia, Zen, was like, it's been pretty hot here, mate. You've got power good. I fear some people aren't showing up because probably they don't have any. But we stocked up on firewood. Yeah, you're a Jewish Aussie. Okay, cool. Awesome. Ashkenazi or I'm learning a lot about religions these days. And I have nothing to do but watch a lot of YouTube sometimes. Let's go here. And oh yeah, well I know it is significant, but it's not. I meant for giving presents. See, pro. That's why. Of course, Hanukkah's significant. Don't throw the rotten vegetables at me. Jeez. Okay. So I was into it. I totally wanted to get out a menorah and everything and like learn about it. And C-Rob's like, oh yeah, I got one. It's in storage somewhere. Okay. I was all ready. Dang it. And I don't even have a tree because of our terrible weather. Nice log on the fire display. Hey, I'm glad you like it. It's been terrible trying to keep this stuff lit because of the moisture with it. Um, there's actually mold, so my throat is a little bit bad for narration. There's mold in the dang logs. Oh god, Rio Del still doesn't have water or power in the quake. I read um, an article saying that they got their power back and stuff, and I didn't know if I should go live because I found out really late about it. I mean, I was up all night with a feeling of dread, and I mean, just, if you know what recently happened to me. Then I realized it's not exactly like wildfire tracking. The only thing I would have to give as advice, and I did do this, I looked up U.S. Geological Survey's risk for landslides because I would not sleep below a slope after an earthquake. There's no such thing as an earthquake, really. It's always a series of earthquakes. And geologists just take the biggest one, take all the foreshocks, the aftershocks, all of them. The biggest one becomes the earthquake, and they reclassify everything before the big one as a foreshock, and anything after that as the aftershock. It's so you really don't know if it's going to be just a smaller precursor to something bigger. And in Italy, they got several years ago, they got reassured that, oh yeah, nothing bigger is coming, and then a big one killed a bunch of people because they went back in their homes being told it was okay. It was a big scandal. It was a northern Italy quake. But I looked at the U.S. Geological Survey website, and they said they had like a scale for the um, oh hey Gene Blackbird, you're in Humboldt right now. There's a lot of aftershocks and no rest. Oof, praying for you. I looked at it, and it's like not in the no risk category. There's no risk, high risk, medium risk. It was in low risk of landslides. So the only thing I would have to give as advice would be, if you at all have a question about stability of any slope above you, then for God's sake, be away from home until you can confirm that that slope is stable. And there's a couple of things to look out for. You want to look out for water coming out of the slope that is new. That could be broken pipes, or it could mean that the mountain fractured and a new spring has come out of a new crack and a new weakness in your mountain or your hill, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, gosh, chat is going by too fast. And so by the time I learned of it happening and figured out most people didn't even have any power to hear anything I had to say anyway, it didn't seem important to go live. Cheryl says magnitude 4.7 reported off of BC's north coast near Haida Gwaii. My daughter lives up there. Must have been deep in the ocean. She didn't complain. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of rattlers off the coast of Oregon and in the Pacific in general. The activity there has been a bit concerning over the last couple of months. But here's the creepy thing about this new earthquake in Humboldt County. The absolutely insanely creepy thing is that an earthquake of almost the exact same size happened exactly 1 year prior in exactly the same spot. It's an anniversary quake. We're talking about 0.2 on the scale. I don't think it's Richter scale anymore, but you know what I'm saying, the replacement. And that's not a coincidence, probably. They're finding out more and more that in some special locations on the earth, it's like a clock, literally like a clock, for earthquakes to occur in a repeat cycle, because the load on a plate, I don't know if it's like so, slip strike, or it's up down, or whatever, but it doesn't matter. The load, say tension on part of a thing, gets pulled, and then it releases. And in some cases, it's like a clock. You know how wind-up clocks run, is movements inside the clock do this. So geologic time is kind of longer game than we do, but they had just figured out one of those happened in Nepal, like one of those spots is in Nepal. And these geologists tried to warn the Nepalese government and the world and were just too late for the big Nepal quake. They predicted it to like down to the week when it was going to happen. And I don't think they got their papers in order or weren't believed in time. And so for Oregon and Washington, I was watching Nick Zentner's, he's an awesome genius, presentations for University of Washington. And he was talking about how Oregon and Washington rotate around. They actually rotate, the two state areas rotate um, in a clock-like pattern. And so I wonder if that sets us up for predictable timing of earthquakes. But in order to figure this out, you'd probably have to take all the data from thousands of years and have AI crunch it. It's not like we can just go, oh yeah, because in prehistory, and there's pretty much no records of anything like that regularly happening prior to 1840. How do you date those specifically? It's pretty hard. We go off of Japan's records. Their records of tsunamis and petrified wood and wood that gets forests that get killed, inundated by tsunamis, and ground with forests and stuff that sinks. So, yes, Desi, exactly the same day and almost exactly the same magnitude and exactly the same place. Right, and we're lucky it didn't trigger a tsunami, and that's what I'm grateful for this year. I'm trying to stay positive today, and I'm grateful for a lot of things. We did not have, knock on wood, I mean, the season's not quite over for Santa Ana's and Diablo winds. Technically, that can go through January, but October through January is Santa Ana / Diablo wind season for California. We must remember some of the worst wildfires happened in October, November, and sometimes in December. We did not have that this year, and I'm so grateful. Remember, Paradise happened November 8th. It was sometime around October 13th or so that Santa Rosa, Desi, maybe you remember, because you were in that area. That Santa Rosa, Loma Rica, and Bangor also had their 3 wildfires thanks to PG&E due to the Diablo winds. So winter is California's worst wildfire season. The Oakland firestorm happened in winter. Winter wildfires are worse in a way because of the oxygen-rich nature of cold air. The colder the air, the more oxygen it can be. So, yeah, Desi says this year's fire season is mild. Knock on wood. Yes, exactly. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Somebody just said appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate you being here. So do tell me all about your guys' celebrations and your holidays and whatever you want to do. It's of course a somber one for my family, but I gotta remember. Oh, Desiree says it was October 9th. The first one, the 2017 one, yeah. What day of the week was that? That was the same night we lost our family friend in Bangor and Loma Rica. So I think PG&E started 5 different power line fires in the north of the state that night. That's not counting the others from the other years, but we're right. We're trying to stay positive, right. So what I'm grateful for is we didn't have this Santa Ana stuff going on. Got decent amounts of snow. Something to be thankful for. And it still could be a flood year, guys. I know that sounds weird, but the water control powers that be of California have a horrible decision to make every winter. And that decision is, how much water do we let out of the reservoirs, out of the lakes? Lake Oroville, Folsom, Shasta, etc. So if they have to try to predict the precipitation for the whole winter. So if they think there's not going to be that much, then they keep the reservoirs very high. So what happens if we get a bad snowstorm and then a pineapple express from Hawaii melts it with rain right after that? That's when we get these massive floods because then the reservoirs are too high to accommodate new water. So what if they think, well, gosh, we got to lower the reservoir and not enough snowpack happens and not enough rain? Well, then you've screwed California for the rest of the year. Most of California's precip comes in winter in the form of snow and some rain. So I remember the year that they screwed up, and it's just not their fault. They always have to like play. They have to play clairvoyant, right? Um, and try to predict precipitation for an entire season. Yeah, good luck with that. Just trying to get a superfecta at the racetrack. Well, the year that they've kept the water levels too high, that was the year the Oroville Dam spillway collapsed, and then the second one collapsed and was in the process of collapsing. So yeah, so I'm hoping for some snowpack, but not like what happened with the spillway for sure. Um, La Ninas, and this is our third one. They're not just hotter and drier southwest and wetter and colder northwest. You know, it's not just that. They're a wild card year, so we could get an insane amount of late snow, like through April and May, and then at the end of May, torrential rain. Let's just hope not. Don't anything goes at this point. So we just haven't had a major flood for a bit, and we're due. That's the next thing that I'm worried about for California in an immediate kind of a sense is, are we going to have like a super wet spring, a super late snowpack, and then wet spring? And California's a land of extremes. It's just the way it is. Okay, let me go back to my chats here. Hi, everybody who's come in. Somebody's saying congratulations on something. Let's see. Oh, hi, stranger Evan. How are you? Cheryl says going to see my grandchild. Enjoy Christmas. It's my grandson's first. Oh, yeah, congrats. My granddaughter's third. How cute. Hey, Christine Newton. I'm hanging in there. How are you? Desiree says it was a Sunday night going into Monday. The only reason I remember it so clearly is because my dad was visiting me. He had gone into the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival that weekend. Oh, yeah, Desi. Um, and that was kind of bad that the fires happened on the weekend because everybody's home, so we trapped there. So, but Desiree says we have 4 seasons of California: heat waves, fires, mudslides, and blizzards. And blizzards. I remember when I came to film the stuff like the aftermath of the Caldor. It was one of those extremely mild uh, falls and winters, and I thought it's a great time to come down for winter. I'll come down in early December and film stuff. The moment I arrived, it's like back-to-back atmospheric rivers are slamming Tahoe. There will be 12 feet of snow. There will be 100-mile-an-hour winds. They're shutting down all the roads, and I'm like, oh, seriously? Oh yeah, earthquake season. That's a fifth one. Yeah. So stay safe over there as I'm in the UK. Oh, hi. So it's Christmas already for you, and it'll be ours soon. Yeah, Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. You know what? She's talking about Tahoe. The mirror in the sky is Tahoe. No joke. Mirror in the sky. What is love? I gotta climb a mountain and look above. Oh, I don't like Stevie Nicks' voice, but it's a good song. It's a good song. Smitty says, Kit Carson passed. Didn't you need radar on the car? Hey, I could sometimes see the white lines of the road and the divided line, and sometimes I could tell where the road was. You know, I just figured. I got a funny story about that. So I back-to-back blizzard warnings came right when I was there to film, and I wanted to interview Sarah Luna more. I just met her. I was alone. C-Pro, me, and Sarah Luna had been hanging out up there. John Stoker was nearby, And so I was going to see him next. And I realized that I had gone up and down the passes, Kit Carson and Echo Summit, plus the one from Oregon that I came over too many times and got myself altitude sick. So I was the next day going, that. Um, and so I had my, all-wheel drive car. And Sarah's like, "You could stay with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to, but I'm altitude sick and want to go down a little lower, come back, right?" So she goes, "I can't let you leave right now. The blizzards are coming in." It was like 10 o'clock at night, right? And I needed to go on 88 past Caples Lake and all that stuff to get to where John Stoker lived. And he was a saint and said, "Sure, you could spend the night." I got snowed in with him for weeks. That was harsh, so I didn't make it back to Tahoe that time. Anyway, that's a spoiler alert. So on the way though, Sarah was like, "I need to track you and where you're going. In case like your car stops or something, I'll call the sheriff and they'll go get you in a snowplow." I went, "Oh yeah, cool, very cool." So we do the location sharing thing on the sharing on one of the map apps or something, Waze or something like that. And as I began driving, I realized that this was a harebrained idea of mine. I had left just in the nick of time, like 15 minutes later, and I may not have successfully made it past Kit Carson Pass, which is about 8,000 feet, where the 75 to 120 mile an hour winds were forecasted. So when I left, I just kind of drove slowly, white knuckled, and then called John Stoker, and he was like, "Do you need directions?" I'm like, "No, nope." And he goes, "Okay, well, I'll let you go, sweetie." I'm like, "Nope, nope." Driving my car. And he goes, "Okay, so why do you need me to talk?" And I said, "Keep me calm. Tell me something. Anything. And tell me something while you're thinking of something." And so he's like, okay." So he starts talking to me, and then I lose connection with him, and then I was on my own. But the next morning, I made it safely to his house. Sarah goes, "Oh my God," with a text. And, "Sarah, I miss you. Where are you?" I said, "What?" And she goes, "Well, we lost cell phone connection for a bit, and I guess the map had a very creative way of tracking you." And she showed me a screenshot, and my car had like flown over mountain peaks in a straight line. She said, "Apparently, your car levitates." And I said, "It does. All cars do now. You don't know that?" And it's a movie quote, but she was, she had a raging fever at the time, and she was, I'm like, "I'm just messing with you." And she's like, "Okay, good, because I thought you were crazy." Ha, ha, ha. But that screenshot is very hilarious. Somewhere between South Lake Tahoe to Kit Carson Pass. It was just like a straight diagonal line of where my car went. So the whole idea only works when you have satellite plus cell phone connection. Otherwise, you don't know where anybody went. But that was an interesting Christmas. And then I made it back down to the valley right before Christmas and got that radical sore throat. Oh, but remember that last year? Is that a year ago now? I'm losing track of everything. I guess that was 1 year ago. Remember, I would have done the wildfire tracking for the crisis in Colorado, but Colorado had that fire that just came over and swept over a neighborhood and took it out. It was like they lost 450 structures or something in 2 hours. Um, and they called it the fire that had like a California sounding name, but it was in Colorado. And as soon as the next thing that hit California was a wildfire that they named after Colorado. It was the most confusing thing ever. But the plot twist about the disaster in Colorado was that seemed to be a mine fire, like a persistent mine fire. Centralia, Washington ghost town style mine fire, as in there's an underground fire in an abandoned mine. These things can burn for decades. Who knows when it was ignited? Sometimes they can be started by tourists who are drunk and stupid and throwing firecrackers and stuff in them. I've seen a bunch of stupid YouTube videos about that. Not related, just saying it's a thing. And when the winds picked up, the mine fire just went into dry grass and just went towards the neighborhood. You can't make some of this stuff up. Yep, UFO mode, totally, totally. Oh, Strange says, Cheryl, I mod on another channel with different mods in Vancouver. They've been telling me about the weather. Oh yeah. It was not a cakewalk, but after what happened with hearing about my brother, I slept through the entire storm Friday. I slept for like 16 hours or something because I hadn't been sleeping too good. But I heard the howling wind right as I kind of went to sleep. So, but yeah, tell me more about what you guys are doing. What's your tradition? I neglected the stockings. I should have some stockings. But I left all of my shopping till last minute, and then the Giganto storm came in, and well, whoopsie daisy. So I went to like a bookstore and got magic crystals. You want to see my magic crystals? I don't know how good this is going to show up in the camera, but I figured, what does anybody need? Magic crystals, dude. I mean, the brochure says not only will they help you find love, luck and gambling, long life and health, and inspiration for things like creativity. I mean, then this is all you need in life. It has to be true. The brochure said so. Now we all know how Zuckerberg and everything do it. It's the crystals. Desi says, do you have pink flamingos with Santa hats and chrome balls out front? I need that. Sister says, read us the night before Christmas. I did. And I screwed it up, though, because I kind of made alterations. And when I turned the page, I screwed up the names of the reindeer and stuff. Here's a funny thing, though. These reindeer names are fake. I'm calling out this was an 1832 poem written anonymously in New York State first, and then later the author took credit because he was embarrassed about how bad the poem was. Hey, sister, yeah, sorry I couldn't I try, but YouTube doesn't do the whole scheduling of videos correctly. Last time I tried hard at that, it made like 16 fake scheduled videos, and people were in 16 different rooms. So, yeah, but that was in the beginning. I could read other Christmas stories if you guys wish. I'm so glad you're here, sister. You have a good Christmas Eve. Clement Clark Moore. Okay, but here, I'm going to call him out as a fake witness to Santa Claus. I don't believe his story. I don't believe it because here's the thing. He says he witnesses 8 reindeer with male names. Only females have their antlers around the time of Christmas. Fake. Totally fake. Unless it's like a special harness that Santa Claus has. And those are decorative antlers. Could be trying to disguise things, who knows? But yeah, only the females have got their antlers on Christmas. So it'd be like on Dashette, now Dancer, now Prancette and Vixen. Vixen's female, that works. On Cometa and on Cupida, on Dondette, and blitz it. Yeah, dash it. He's a confused kind of dude. Oh, okay. I don't know about reading those kind of hidden meanings into it, but I did do a role reversal thing because I thought, how do I read this as a female? It says over here on page 1, and Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap. So I'm like, wait a second. I highly doubt that in public this kind of relationship existed in 1832. So I changed it. I in my kerchief. I'm female. And Pop's in his cap. I did great there. I did great. Okay, sorry, back to seriousness. This is carnelian. This is for Mom. It's paperweight. Nice little red carnelian. I got one for me too, and I got scammed. Mom's is smooth all the way around. It's even got a little white stripe. I didn't look at the back of mine, and of course they put it in the back. I'm like, oh, give me two carnelian. Eh, that ain't smooth. It's all pockmarked and rough, and it's defective. How am I supposed to like attract love and fortune with a defective carnelian? Get some hematite? Sure, yeah. Only in a cap and kerchief and nothing else. Right, right, right. So, yeah, I'm very grateful though to be having electricity and a fire and the internet and being able to hang out with you guys. I also got some balls, smoky quartz, and it looks like it has gold foil in it. I don't know if they call it rutile. It's some gold-like foil type thing, and this is just so cool. And I decided, man, I'll make this. I want to hang this in the window. So I got out some knotwork thread, like kind of like paracord, but nice and dyed. And then I went on YouTube trying to figure out how do you tie a knot that suspends a ball. And apparently you can't. You can't just tie it like a present. And it got complicated. And so I went, nah, okay. Gave up on that for now. I'll need something thinner, like some upholstery thread or something. This one caught my eye. Get it? Cat's eye. Kathryn eye caught my. Okay. I said I want some tiger eye. This has chatoyancy, cat's eye effect. It's hard to tell, but it's got a purplish nature with that golden cat's eye thing. And I don't even remember what he said this was, but it's a special type of version of it. And it's an anti-procrastination crystal. Definitely what I need. But yeah. So wait. What did you say, Desi? Does Desi need a band? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. Because I'm one of those. I'm gonna wait till it's perfect, people. Okay. Uh, and I said, what helps kidneys? They said bloodstone, and I thought bloodstone was hematite because it contains it's a black stone, so iron based that when you cut it, and you have to use water to cut stones, so you don't make the dust, right? They called it bloodstone because it would bleed, right? It looked like blood. It was rust, right? Please don't ban me. I will behave myself. I don't know if you make a donation within the next 45 seconds. We won't. Okay. Thank you. Just interrupting that. Everybody who donated to my brother's funeral cost fund. Thank you. It really means a lot to me. But this, it's great. So he's like, here, have some bloodstone. It's all about regulating your blood, right? Gemstone meanings. It's gonna like affect my chi. It's gonna readjust my chi. And then Gives you blood flow where you need it, takes away extra blood flow when you don't. Do I accept Venmo? Gosh. Yeah, thanks. It's okay. Everything's okay. I mean, right now nobody has any money. Don't worry. But thank you everybody who's donated a couple of bucks. It's going to help me get some flowers there. Depending on what happens with my exploratory surgery first week of January, I don't know if I can attend my own brother's funeral. It's going to be in California, so who knows? But I want to send flowers and support things. But yeah, I didn't realize bloodstone could be green and red. Anyway, so am I one of those new agey crystal types? Not really. In fact, I'm half making fun of it now, but I actually believe in something related to this. I believe that this is important. Where you go and you get something called a focus. You know how people put affirmations on their walls and those motivational posters like, if you believe you can do it. You know that stuff? Oh, thank you so much for the link, Strange Reverend. I don't know how to even make descriptions like that on my phone. But back to this point. The power is belief. That's your power that comes from within. It's very hard to get anything done or accomplish anything if you don't believe that it's going to happen. It becomes a chore, a slog, something that drains you. Your confidence is sapped if you really don't believe there's a high success of chance or that something good's going to happen. You need that for maximum success in life, for healing, and well, for achieving things. So people, sometimes the most irritating people can rise to the top, right? We all know this type. They're super arrogant and overconfident, and they're not that skilled. You know, they charge ahead and get things done, and so the corporate world loves them, and but they're not that talented, and they really shouldn't be that confident, but they believe they are. And so they got this energy, and they just get a lot done, and that's neither here nor there whether or not it's a good thing. Belief. So your power of believing is what gives you energy from nothing. You don't have to believe in magic. It's not magic. It's scientific. It's psychological. You need a reminder of what your goal is. So this is the awesomeness of the whole crystal system that has been going on since ancient times, right? Belief that if you get amethyst as a necklace, it prevents you from becoming drunk, prevents you from wanting drink, alcohol, and intoxication. So I know some guys that did AA programs and whatnot, and they got themselves an amethyst necklace, and nothing really worked until they got the dang necklace. And oh boy, were they sold a bill of goods on that. It was a special one. It wasn't dyed. It came straight from the earth. It came from a magic place in the earth and all those talked up stuff, right? And it was $300. Probably should have been about $3. However, they got this great, serious pep talk about it, and they started to believe. And then every day that they looked in the mirror, they had this thing on. And they remembered what their goal was. That's all you need, is the reminder of what you're focusing on. You need to focus for your own belief in your own energy. So even though it's silly, and this is just a rock, it's nothing to do with anything about my life or anybody's health. It makes me remember I've got health as a goal. And oh, Cheryl, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that donation. Somebody says, good color for bloodstone. Your blood is blue, green until air hits it. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. I'll demonstrate that. I've got blue veins because see, I'm not a white American. That's an old racist term. I prefer to be called an alabaster American. I'm kidding. You see how my veins are blue here from my because I have translucent skin right there. That's because skin, it's not like a clear glass in a window. It's blocking the light, except blue is coming through, right? So it's what your skin's doing here. is red, but it's like the ocean. It's like water. You can see all colors if you dive 5 feet underwater with your swim mask on, and then you keep going down. You dive down, and 15 feet down, you can't see red anymore. If you ever watch a lot of like underwater scuba videos, deeper they are, there's fewer colors that exist. Like you go down to like 50, 60, 75 feet, there's only blue. Even if you're wearing a bright red and orange highlights on your wetsuit, they just become like a weird whitish gray color. That's because the sunlight is being absorbed by the different layers of the water enough, and your colors disappear. The color spectrum disappears. Blue's the last thing to disappear before something is opaque. So blue is in the skin. You can see it on pasty people like me. Yeah. Oxygen in the air turns red. Oxygen inside my body turns it red. It still has oxygen. See, I'm giving it oxygen. See, I have red blood cells and they dominate in there. I think I'm right, Smitty. You want to put some money? You want to bet a crystal on that? I'll send you a crystal if I'm wrong. Any kind of crystal you like. Okay, don't get all greedy on me though. Like don't ask for something like a fist-size Oregon sunstone because that's not going to happen. Okay? I'll bet you a crystal. Carbon monoxide also turns it red. CO also attaches to hemoglobin. Why ain't that special, C probe? I'm kidding. 41 South. Oh, hey, how are you? Sorry, I didn't see you walk in. May, my darling, I'm thinking of you and yours. Much love. Hey, hi. I tried to get in touch with you. I saw you live, but I couldn't participate because I was out there trying to do my last minute shopping. You know, maybe we're both right in kind of a way. Can I have pyrite? Sure. Wildcat, I saw amazing pyrite samples today. They were made in like hearts and stuff, and they looked actually really dang cool. Pyrite is great for starting fires too, emergency fires on your steel. They're very sparky. And they're not trash. If you see pyrite, fool's gold in California waters, pyrite clings to gold and quartz, black sand, pyrite, quartz, jackpot. Get excited if you see that in a creek. So how are you doing, 41? I have to poke the fire, guys. Hang on. That's weird. You know, it's not purple, but that's just the way that YouTube's camera is doing this right now. Hang on, folks. Hang on, folks. I wonder if straight out of the bone marrow blood starts out blue or something. Green or some other color. I don't know. I mean, being a reptile person, my blood was only green when I was a hatchling. But as an adult, you get more of your mammalian DNA kicking in there, right? Okay. Just tired of dealing with all the anti-reptites out there. Freaking mammals think you're all that. Yeah. We were there before you. We will outlast you. Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to get real fireplace tools. All right. All right, friends. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? All right. Okay. Chat. Lavender color here. Yes, you really need to get those flamingos up. Flamingos with Santa hats in the yard. Oh my God, I need that. Desiree says, no, blood cells start out as what is called a blast and turns into whatever cell it's meant to be. That's magic. Oh, 41 says, I'm doing the best I can. Are you going to be on for long? I'll be on as long as you guys wish. And thank you so much for the donations for my brother's funeral flowers fund. and all the support you guys have been giving. I'm so grateful. Um, I was totally alone that night, and you guys are awesome. What can I say? I've got a bunch of emails, but I have been slowly reading them, but mostly I've been staring a lot and just thinking, I need to do X, Y, or Z. And then I start thinking about the past or something. I look down at the clock. Oh, oh, oh. Or I then do something, and then I look down at my phone and realize I was in the middle of writing an email or something or looking at one, and I don't even remember starting it until I look at it. So 41 South says, and his channel is awesome, guys. I was talking about it last time. It's Chris. He is one of our original gangsters. 41 South says, I just have my Kara here, but I'd love to join you when she goes. Hey, yeah. How do I do that on a cell phone? I'm on the regular YouTube app. I've got StreamYard on the PC. That's not over there really set up for streaming. I would have to probably. Okay, there's no way to have a guest on uh, on YouTube, right? Okay, I'm boiling now. God gracious, I'm boiling now. Okay. Yeah. So if anybody knows how to do that, like I don't think there's any buttons like add somebody. It says save highlight, share, mute microphone. But yeah, that would be cool. If anybody wants to be a guest on the show and like knows things about streaming, then yes, we should have a party. And how was your Christmas? Because Christmas was yesterday for all the Australian types. Um, cool. Oh, yeah, I forgot you're a nurse, Desi. Duh. Oh, shoot. People have been talking and I didn't scroll up. Yeah. All right. So Cheryl says, oh no, I'm so sorry. Your second daughter died in 2020. Just got to transition to celebrate Christmas with the grandchildren or go for a walk. Yeah. What can you do? I'm trying to do the remember the good times thing. And so Jane Blackford says, I haven't talked to my brother in 2.5 years. You inspired me to make amends and thanks. Yeah, I'm glad something good came out of this because it is one of those things you don't know when it's going to happen. I was going to call my brother the very day he died to say my Christmas present's late. You know, when's Santa coming to the house? I don't have any cookies unless he likes Milano cookies. But judging by the roaring fire I have in the fireplace, he may not want to ignite himself. Yeah. Transmuting takes time, Kathryn. Take your time. Yeah. I'm going through the cycles of being angry, numb, okay with it, wistful, sad, numb, wistful. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just coming around. But I did get some solace, and so I wanted to share with you what my sister-in-law did. I was afraid to call her. You know, when his death happens, I haven't talked to my dad yet. I reached out to him on a message thing and said, um, you know what, 41 South, why don't we could go to your channel after this, and all of you guys could sub to 41 South, and he knows how to have a guest on, and then I could figure out StreamYards on my phone if I want to have the fire in the background. Um, sometimes I've been on a guest on his channel twice, and that's the middle of the night, for like most people. Um, I have a really crappy webcam. Yeah, let's do that. You're the one who knows what you're doing. I'm the video production student who doesn't know how to do this. That's my embarrassing thing. So yes, and thank you, Cheryl. I did get your email and Shaz's and Bugs's, and I spaced out today, and then I looked at the clock and realized I had to get to the crystal store um, to get my paperweight gifts. And then my focus on getting healthy, my blood's done. But yeah, the carnelian's for my mom. And tiger eye. She's a tiger in the Chinese zodiac and likes it. I'm a cock, but I bet a lot of people. Oh, yes, go ahead, 41. Of course, that's fine. If anybody has their own YouTube channel, go ahead. Unless it's prawn related or against the terms of service. Don't get me in trouble. In an hour? Okay. All right. What time is it? I don't think I have a working clock in here. Is it what time is it Pacific, friends? Oh, wait, I have a watch. I'm an idiot. Okay. 11. It's 11. All right. At midnight Pacific, let's go live. Yeah. Wildcat says Chinese zodiac, the chicken is supposed to be lucky. Yeah, in some ways. You know, I can roll the dice for hours at the casino and not roll a 7. I'm a craps shark. Not kidding. And the thing is I am because I believe I am. I found out, I mean, it was psychology books where I found out about this stuff, not New Agey crystal books. The books were exploring why do crystals work for people. And it's not just a placebo effect. It's more than that. It's I would call it a belief effect. And they found that it works for drugs too. That even after the placebo effect expires, which is usually only the first month, usually up to 3 months, and placebo effect is gone. There's something that lingers beyond that, where drugs are more effective when people believe that they are being effective. So doctors are now being trained, no kidding, to talk up the effectiveness of drugs. And I read that article. Okay, sounds good, 41. Everybody, 41 South, you can click on his little boat icon and it goes to his channel. Come back to ours, of course. You can hit the sub button and the ringing bell. And then when we get our stuff together, midnight Pacific, we'll go live. He'll go live and then I'll join as a guest. Because that's Chris Titleman. I'm sorry, I'm going to script a name. From everybody knows Chris from last year, from the Caldor fire and stuff. He was one of our supporters from Tasmania. And we had some Australian people and awesome people from around the world, you know, like Shadow 73. And too many to name, right? And I'm totally happy to be a guest on his channel. We have a good time. He keeps it chill. Knows everything about, you know, boats and ships and stuff. And Smitty and he have a lot to talk about. Smitty does too. So we'll go live there in an hour. For now, I'll just sit here with you guys. And it's open, you know, guys. Tell me more about you. But okay. Yeah, Wildcat. I'm a craps shark. And I mean a shark because I walk into a casino and they think because I actually do have kind of a poor memory for numbers, and so I ask questions again like, what does this bet do? What's the come line again? And I mean, what's don't come, what's pass line? I know what the pass line is, but you know, I forget what the bets are called and the hard ways and what are the big numbers again, you know, like the 4, the 6, the 8, the 9, and the 10. And these are innocent questions. I'm not trying to scam anybody. And then I need to warm up for a bit, but then I'll start rolling the dice and I will not strike out. You only like once you're in the game of craps, all you have to do is roll the dice and you put money on every number except 7, pretty much. It's oversimplifying the game. And so every time you roll the dice and hit that number, you get the appropriate amount of money. Now some numbers on the dice are easy to hit a lot. Like there's different combos to get 6, but there's only one way to get 12. There's only one way to get 11, right? So those are 30 to 1 odds. And so I'll just put $2 on those 30 to 1 odds. And then I'll stack chips every time that you win on like number 6. You say press that bet, meaning stack the chips back up on top of it. So what's my username on Venmo? I don't have Venmo yet. I'm sorry. That was another thing I spaced out on. I can get that to you later though, because some people hate PayPal, and I don't know what to make of PayPal. But the whole fee for spreading misinformation thing that they came up with. Like they could drain your bank account if they say you're lying about something. What? Anyway, back to craps. If you just keep rolling the dice and you don't hit 7, and guess what? 7 is the most likely number when you roll 2 dice. I thought they were interchangeable. I don't know anything about Venmo. Is this all I know is I don't have a Venmo account yet. I have Zelle, Google Wallet, PayPal. PayPal is supposed to be cheaper than the fees that YouTube takes away, though. Yes, yes. I don't think PayPal takes much of anything, but YouTube takes 30%. I cried when I did the math about that. Yeah, I will get back to you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, what I do is I put money on every single way that you can roll dice on the craps table, every single way. And anytime I win, I put it back on the same numbers until I reach maximum bets. And so as long as you don't roll a 7, every time you roll the dice, somebody gives you money and you rake it in. And so when I reach maximum bets, I'm like, here's 1,000, here's 1,000, no. But it's high risk. Read us another Christmas story? Okay, find one for me. It's high risk because you roll a 7 and they take all of your money off the table. So I've watched like 4 grand get pushed into their little pocket. Like, and there's some bets you can turn off if you feel like you're hitting the end of your streak. But for the most part, I go into a casino and I've only done this a couple of times, guys. I don't even live near any casinos. Some could say this is still beginner's luck, whatever. But you go in there and look like a newbie, but by the time they see somebody who is a roller, like I am, and you should look around the table and find other people like that. Only bet on those people. People who actually know how to roll for a while without hitting 7. They hate that. They cannot say, hey, you're barred from the game. This is not legal, right? You didn't do anything wrong. The house has to let you win, give you a chance to win. However, what they do is they close the craps table down and tell you to play something else. They can't close it down in the middle of your game, but the moment that you strike 7, they close the table. So I get very small opportunities to play craps before they close my table down. Yeah. I can explain that, Wildcat. Wildcat says it's funny. When I'm new and don't understand the game, I keep winning. But when I know about the game, I keep losing. Hey, Shaz. Hello. Speak of the devil. I was just saying hi. I got your email and everything. I wanted to reply. I tried to do my last minute shopping today. Ran out of time. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to 41 South's channel, and I'll be his guest at midnight Pacific, which is 57 minutes from now. And how's your Christmas going? Because it's already Christmas, right? Okay, Desi wants me to read The Gift of the Magi. And I did it, Chaz. I read a story. I kind of screwed up the night before Christmas, but mostly I got it. That's at the beginning of the stream. So, am I lucky as a rooster of the Chinese zodiac or whatever? I guess. I guess we're supposed to be lucky in gambling, but I'm not lucky in gambling in general. I don't gamble. Like I don't do slots, don't do poker, don't do roulette, don't do anything electronic. My friends drag me to casinos and then they put money in my hand and I gamble with their money. for the most part. And to me, it's fun. And Wildcat, if you know too much about a game, you're putting a pressure on yourself. Even the pressure to remember how it's played is going to affect your play. Pressure is the enemy of winning. If it's all fun and games to you, not only are you going to do better at any kind of game, you don't crack under pressure and stuff, but you have an energy to it, an enthusiasm. So you got two choices: keep yourself ignorant, just like have fun, or know it so well that the rules are no longer feeling like a pressure. I know that I start rolling like crap the moment that I get nervous. This one guy came up and bet against me. That's stupid. I had been rolling for 45 minutes the dice, and this puts me up in golden arm territory. Not that many people can do this, where every 30 seconds or so, you're rolling the dice. And for 45 straight minutes, I did not roll a 7, right? So, but I was just having time of my life. I believed in my beginner's luck. Everything was great. And I had no idea how to play craps. I had no idea how to bet. So I wasn't even really winning anything. But boy, I was delighted that, wow, this is working. And so this guy comes up to my table, takes $700 in chips, and puts it on a line that says, like, don't pass. uh, I believe it was don't pass, but it was one of those that meant that he thought I was about to strike out and I was about to lose this game because not many people can roll for 45 minutes. And I got nervous and went, oh my God. Because I knew this guy is about to get really angry. Because sure enough, I roll again and I win, and he just loses $700. And he curses hard. Looks like he's getting balls a fist. Looks like he's going to kick the craps table. And goes off somewhere, escorted by security. And I'm just like, and security goes, don't worry, honey, we will escort you to your car today. Oh, so at first I thought he was just getting kicked out of the casino, but when they said we're going to escort you to your car, I'm now getting these images of like getting beaten up in a parking lot or shaken down or something. And so what did I do? Strike out. Because the nerves got to me. You cannot have any pressure. You got to be blissfully having fun. And then you can do everything right. You just believe. I just believe I can really consistently roll every number except 7. And so the way I've had it explained to me is it's like a self-hypnosis that I do. And my body is trying to comply with what I'm imagining. And I'm imagining everything but the number 7. I'm imagining getting a 6. I'm imagining getting a 4. And there's a subconscious connection between your arm movement and everything and what you're imagining. And that's just how it works. But if I could do this at will, I'd be a millionaire already and wouldn't have to be doing YouTube donations, right? There's always stress involved and stuff, bad days and whatever. So don't go to a casino unless you're okay with losing everything. And that's why I say I don't really gamble. I've done this a little bit. I don't seek it out. Like if my friends are going, I might come with them. They usually shove money into my hand and say, do your thing. I go, all righty, friends, here we go. So that's my spiel about gambling. And I don't do any kind of like game of chance. I think craps is a game of skill. Just rolling techniques and stuff. And all I know is that when I get in my groove, my first game that I get going is my last because they will shut down my table after that. I have to find a new casino or go home. So not fair, but hey. So I've got moral of the story is don't play with Kathryn. No, you could bet on me. The moral of the story is don't be the house and let Kathryn walk in. This is one of the craps is one of the few ways that the casino can be cleaned out by the patrons. So if you approach a craps table, you'll see the people actually playing. You don't have to play to bet. You can take your chips and then say, because people take turns playing. All right, somebody gets their turn and they start rolling, and they continue to roll until they strike out with a 7. This is a little bit of an oversimplification, but that's the way it goes. So most people strike out within like 5 minutes. Average like 3 to 5 minutes, and some people strike out like their second roll, and it's like, oh, because they had just put like 100 or 200 bucks on the table, right? So you should observe the people, and the people who don't know what they're doing and don't know how to roll, they do strike out in the first couple of minutes. Don't put any money on the table. Observe. Then you get to a roller, somebody who knows, somebody who can do it 10 minutes, and then put your money down on the numbers they are consistently doing, because it's a streaky game. So if they're rolling 6 all the time and it keeps coming up for them, go and put like 200 bucks on 6. And then they roll 6. They're going to try to hand you back something around, 150 or something. Say press the 6, which means put that 150 back on the 6. And so you wait a few more rolls and he hits 6 again. And then that's up to you. Leave it on 6 or start taking. So start putting them on other numbers or take. Now, if that person keeps rolling for 45 minutes, once 20 minutes goes by, maybe put money on all of the numbers. So every single time they roll the dice, you are raking in money. That's how you do it. So that's not like you're betting against me. You would find me at the table and you would love me to death, right? So there's some stories about high rollers and golden arms, about how casinos have lost 20 million a night when these people are going at their tables because the entire casino will crowd around the craps table, and everybody at the casino has the right to place a bet, and they can't shut the table down until that person finally strikes out. So there's some amazing stories about that. So that's why they shut down the table when people like me show up. Come here. Come here. Why not? Oh, fine. What? Okay. All right. Fine. Alexa. Alexa, stop. All right then. Sorry, guys. My screen over there. Okay, we need to go to the casino. I would like to record myself in a casino. But can I? A lot of people are not believing anything I say right now. It's okay. But maybe I could get a replica craps table and just roll the dice for an hour or two, just show people. But that's hard to do. You have to order special stuff. So I can't do this for any other game, like roulette or something. It's got to be your arm, your subconscious connection, and your belief that you can do this, and just a couple of little tricks. So okay, tawny owls. I have a story request, guys. Sorry, I just went on a tangent, but it had to do with what I was talking about, and that is the power of belief. I read this book about crystals, self-hypnosis, and luck. I don't think it's luck, what I'm doing. I mean, it's fortunate, but I think it has more to do with whether or not I'm confident that day. And it's I believe it's one of your oogly boogly powers. Sure. Well, I have a lot of misfortune, so maybe it's compensation. Okay. Okay. This fire needs a poke. What was the story request? Please repeat it. I'll try to find it. on an iPad here. Can't find it on my phone, of course, but come on now. Come on now, fire. Woo! I got snappy, crackly, and poppy. Hey, stay in your lane. Don't roll out here. Okay. Yeah. My stick keeps catching fire. Okay. All right. Ah, can you feel it? Can you feel it, friends? Smitty, what does Smitty say? Smitty says, Shaz, it's all fixed now, but it froze the other day. Nothing burst, thank heavens. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, we need to go to a casino. Here's what I want to do. What is the story request for me to read? I'll do it. I'll do it, guys. Shaz says I was playing on one of those machines. I was winning that much that they closed the machine. That's what they do. That's what they do. Okay. Okay. Who's been posting some videos? I don't know. I've lost this conversation. Oh, Desi, you're getting over a bad flu. I hope that you guys are going to be good. All right. What story was I supposed to read, friends? Oh, Shaz says I managed to take daughter to work, came home and dread the puppy had eaten the presents. She had not touched them. It's a Christmas miracle. Ah, good. Oh, there was a Christmas miracle today, for the 22nd. There's a carjacking, car theft near Columbus, Ohio. 2 twins were in the back. They were just turned 2 or something. I just read this, guys. It's a real story. And one of the twins was found by an airport, like dumped. They arrested some woman. I was going to say lady, and I was going to say something else. I'll say woman, person, and who was suspected of stealing the car. Now, the car that was stolen was a DoorDasher's car. So Christmas miracle, a true one. And she had just gone to get the DoorDash meal when somebody jacked the car, and the twins are in the back. So, yeah, I don't win lotteries and scratches and stuff. That's pretty. I'm not lucky with that stuff. So anyway, I can imagine being that mother. You go in to grab a food bag, you come back, your car's gone, your twins are gone. Oh my God. So they made an arrest, and apparently this lady did not talk. There's still a missing child. This demon, yeah, demon. I don't understand how somebody could do this, but the cops have been looking and looking and looking for this. It was a black car. They had a description. They knew the license plate number. They knew everything, and they looked all day, all night, all day, all night, and you just gave you just gave away the story. But okay, yeah, um, yeah. So they go to go get a meal. They're like, let's just get blood sugar and clear our heads and think about things and then decide what to do next. So they go to a Papa John's parking lot, and lo and behold, right in front of them, there's that car. That's that license plate. And they look in, probably frosted windows, maybe even snow-covered windows, because we just had this insane ice storm. We're talking like negative 17 degrees and such near Ohio. The child's alive in the back. Yeah, miracle. So, wow. So this woman has been charged with felony kidnapping and stuff, and another charge, which was like body fluid assault of an officer, which tells us she's a winner. Not that that means that she did it, but just somebody who spits or whatever on cops is not nice, right? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I just give you crap next to no. But yes, this is amazing. A Christmas miracle. So the funny thing about babies, and I will read the story, but I can't remember what story is it. Who requested the story and which one? Sorry. Um, there's a fire behind me. Oh no. Yeah. Um, I oh gosh, I feel so terrible if I babble on about gambling or something, and then oh, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I was like, whoever said that, what if they're gone already? Because I'm not in any way trying to, promote gambling. The question was, am I lucky? Yeah. So 17-degree type temperatures with wind chill. I mean, in a car protects you from the wind, right? Hey, welcome back, Terrell. I'm about to read another story, Gift of the Magi, which I've heard about, but I don't remember how it goes. Um, how do you work iPads? I don't know, friends, but there was one here. Yeah. Touch ID. Touch. Try to register my fingerprints. Come on, open. Come on. Touch ID or enter a passcode. Try again. That is my finger. My passcode's required for my touch. I can't remember what that is. Why did I even charge this? People are like, oh, iPads are great. Come borrow mine. Oh, yeah, whatever. Fort Knox. Okay, get out of this thing. Let me go find another screen. Okay, so I'll tell you why a baby can survive in like 17-degree weather for days or like -17. And that's an adaptation that people think came about as a adaptation to the Ice Age. We've got some cold adaptations, and children have some spectacular ones. One is brown fat. Babies, well, really young children and babies have brown fat. It's a miraculous kind of fat. Where is this phone? Okay, hopefully it's charged, friends. And so what it does is it burns over time. Okay, it's turning on. Hopefully this is charged. Let's plug this in. Plug this in. So what brown fat does is when baby is cold or, body detects cold weather or whatever, it doesn't just deplete, like give you some calories. It burns like a candle and creates massive amounts of heat for the child. So yeah, it's called brown fat, and only babies presumably have it. If adults do, it's probably some sort of a mutation or a strange, maybe cold adapted Arctic Circle types perhaps have something similar as adults, but I don't know. So, okay. Yeah, okay, this is 79%. Let's look it up. Gift of the Magi story. Gift of the Magi. I'm being spammed with a million notifications because I've had this phone off for a week or two. Oh, super chat or something. So they'll find this is where it gets dark. This is where it gets really dark, but they'll find mothers frozen with the child alive in her arms. Okay. Next to Null says, I want to thank you for your dedication. Living on the East Coast, you helped me understand nature, wildfires. You're a blessing, and I thank you. Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you for being here, and I appreciate this so, so much. Thank you. Wait, is John Stoker here? Are you here? Oh, hi, John. Hello. Yeah, happy holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, Kwanzaa, Festival of Lights, and not quite Chinese New Year. I think I covered my bases. Okay, full book available. Read now. 87% of People who rated it on Google Books liked the story. Okay, cool. Is it really super long though? Because what we're gonna do at midnight, which is, see, it's now, what time is it? 11 something. It's 11:30. 30 minutes from now, we're gonna go to 41 South's channel. So if you go on YouTube and subscribe, 41 South, and I'll be the guest on 41 South channel. And Cheryl says, yes, babies can have the desire to live when they're born youngest, born premature. Oh goodness. But it's a superpower that babies have, brown fat. I'd love to learn more about it, but I was pretty astonished. So if you're gonna have a family that's like, you know, stranded and in the woods or something, and they have an infant with them, like a suckling infant, it's more likely the infant's gonna survive than the rest of the adults if they run out of ways to keep warm. Um, the only thing that's bad is the infant might start to, if there's no milk and formula, get dehydrated. But yeah, I'm so glad to see it. I was talking about you earlier, John Stoker, and recounting the blizzard in Tahoe story, and how Sarah Luna's screenshot made it look like my car flew to your house. Yeah. So Desiree said it was almost 3 months early and lucky to be alive. Whoa, yes. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, and 41 South has got a cutest little dog. Cute as a button. Cute as a button. So, okay, how long is this story? The Gift of the Wise Man. How many pages are there? I'm looking. And there's another page, an illustration, another page, and another page. That's a lot of pages. They're not numbered. I'm reading it straight from Google Books. This is a long story. Whoa, okay. Goodness gracious. Okay, I remember in my script writing class that there's a way to figure out how long it's going to take you to read something and use some formula such as like every 5 words is X amount of sentences, or every 5 words is X amount of seconds. So you do a word count. Let me just hit get book and see what it does. Download the PDF for free. All right, open the PDF. All right. So does this have a page count? 49 pages. It's pamphlet size and the words are big, and okay, the first 15 are just illustrations. Okay, that's not too bad, but I'm on page 19. The story begins, so it's about 28 pages. All right. How long we got? Half an hour? Let's see how far we get. Do you want me to read the Gift of the Magi? This is without ever looking at it too, so. 980 grams is the size of a loaf of bread. Where have you guys started talking about? Yes, and Merry Christmas. And everybody, you could tell me how you're spending your time, and it is time for good, uplifting stories and support and everything. This is all about support, plus try to make the best of things when Christmas is hard too. Okay, calls for some water. Figured you didn't want the microphone down for that. And I've got some better equipment for streaming, funded by you guys because you're awesome. However, only half of it arrived, and I'm still not set up in my room here for streaming. So curtains have got to go up, some shelves have got to go back up, and I still moved everything away from the window replacement. That did not happen, and yet it's still supposed to happen. So trying to rearrange the dining room for streaming. So I have to have multiple monitors. And oh, no, it's okay. Miracles are fine topics right now. That's okay. So that's why I'm on a cell phone on a stick right now in front of the fire. It's on a box. It's super high tech. But I may have a good upgrade on microphone. But I just called Amazon. Like, where's my microphone? It came as undeliverable. It was supposed to be here days ago. And so I said, you get the email like that usually says, would you like a replacement of the same item? Because apparently the package was lost, stolen, broken, dropped, misplaced, or run over or something. But instead of saying, here's the same item, because I got it on Black Friday, it's like $250, but I got it for like $179. They were like, whoops, we're sorry we lost your package. Here's a refund. If you would like this item again, go ahead and buy it again. I looked at it, it was like $259. What? So I called them and I was like, I'm not paying full price now because you lost it. It's bad enough that my Christmas story is kind of ruined. Or I got my gaming headset. I'm supposed to be sitting in front of an easy chair, a wingback, a studded leather chair with an elegant microphone, some super lights. That's what I envisioned anyway. And so I got on hold for like 45 minutes, but eventually I got somebody and they just kept saying, oh, we can't help you, man. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, I am able to smile, especially when you guys are around to help. I've got a lot to be thankful for. I mean, C-Probe cooked me dinner and brought it today. He's going to go get my mom for Christmas tomorrow. And I've got power and I've got electricity and I've got heat. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you guys like it. I wish I could share the heat with you guys. So, Gift of the Magi starts out at page 19. Let's try to tackle it. And go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Just go ahead. I mean, this is like, let's hang out, right? I'm going to start I don't know if I should make it a playlist or just a different channel called Kathryn Reads. And I'll narrate stuff. I'll either tell my stories or I'll narrate stories. Some people are requesting that. They want me to help them get to sleep, and so they want a soothing story playlist. All right. Shaz says you're making me think I need to light my fire. What am I, a Doris song? Come on, baby, light my... Okay. It won't be Kathryn Sings because I can't. Okay. So I got to really clear my throat, so I'm going to mute. Let me do this chocolate real quick. Yeah, Shaz says I would do the perfect audiobooks. I have a perfect voice for it. Okay. Wish is my command. I hate my voice, and so if you look at my tram video, the first thing I ever like really posted, I don't speak in it. I'm just like because I was meaning to just hire a narrator to do everything. When people started saying they liked it, I was like, you're messing with me. To me, I sound like a 12-year-old boy. When people thought I was age 65, I thought people were joking, and a lot of people were serious. Do I sound like I'm 65? Charles says I used to make up stories for the kids to sleep when they were younger. Yeah. Your voice is great, Shaz. And guess what? All Americans love every type of British and Australian accent and Kiwi and everything. We're in love with that stuff. So, oh yeah, C-Pro's been great. Um, he's in a limbo here, left the Bay Area, and this is the one of the worst winters that Oregon's ever had. And he's like, I hate it. I hate it. Do I want to live here? Actually, I hate it. I'm like, look, we only experience this crap like once every 8 to 10 years. I don't remember the last time it's been 17 degrees. It's just -9 Celsius, right? Ah, that's something that doesn't happen too often. It's La Nina. It says it's supposed to be London. That is our latitude, 45-ish degrees, right? So, okay. But yes, I have a lot to be thankful for. You guys are taking care of me. Other mods are too. Um, and my family too. Mom's come out of the woodwork, but yeah. Okay, guys, the gift of the Magi. Here we go. Let's see how much we can get done before we go over at midnight, which is 20 minutes from now, to 41 South Street, where I'll be his guest. And so I'll just wait here until he says he's ready. Mind you, I have no idea what the story is about. I mean, it says gift of the Magi. It's got to be baby Jesus in here somewhere. But I've never read it. So if it I mean, this is an old tale. The binding is really old and it's out of copyright. So if there's anything politically incorrect because of its age, apologies in advance, but I'm not aware of it. So Shaz says something about Southern accents and arrogance. I do have a partial Southern accent. I say stuff like greasy. It's greasy. So when I'm really tired, the drawl comes out a little bit. Anyway, the gift of the Magi. $1.87. This does not sound like it's biblical. Okay. $1.87. That was all. And 60 cents of it was in pennies. Pennies save 1 and 2 at a time by bulldozing the grocer and the vegetable man and the butcher until one's cheeks burned with a silent imputation of parsimony that such close dealing implied. What? 3 times Delta counted it. $1.87. And the next day would be Christmas. There's clearly nothing to do but flop down on the shabby little couch and howl. Sorry, the awkward print here. There was clearly nothing to do but flop down on the shabby little couch and howl. So Della did it, which instigates the moral reflection that life is made up of sobs, sniffles, and smiles, with sniffles predominating. While the mistress of the home is gradually subsiding from the first stage to the second. Take a look at the home, a furnished flat at $8 a week. It did not exactly beggar description, but it certainly had that word on the lookout for the mendicancy squad. Oh man, some of this vocab. A mendicant, a mendicant is somebody who's taken a vow of poverty, like a wandering prophet. You know, like a monk, right? It was kind of like a word for like a hobo or something in this era. So it did not exactly beggar description, but it certainly had that word on the lookout for the mendicancy squad. In the vestibule below was a letterbox into which no letter would go, an electric button from which no mortal finger could coax a ring. Translation, the doorbell, it done broke on us. Get up and quit. Also, Appertaining thereunto was a card bearing the name Mr. James Dillingham Young. I have to do this in elf swearingen voice, guys. Deadwood. It's just, it calls for it, the late 1800s. This is like the script of Deadwood. The Dillingham had been flung to the breeze for a former period of prosperity, when its possessor was being paid $30 per week. Now, when the income was shrunk to $20, the letters Dillingham looked blurred, as though they were thinking seriously of contracting to a modest and unassuming D. But whenever Mr. James Dillingham Young came home and reached his flat above, he was called Jim, and greatly hugged by Ms. James Dillingham Young, already introduced to you as Della, which is all very good. Yeah, this calls for an accent. Yeah. Della finished her cry and attended her cheeks with the powder rag. This is adorable. Pause. All right, fire's all right. You can make audiobooks. Thanks. Della finished her cry and attended her cheeks with the powder rag. She stood by the window and looked out dully at a gray cat walking a gray fence in a gray backyard. In the swing of it now. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day, and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a present. She had been saving every penny that she could for months with this result. $20 a week doesn't go far. Expenses have been greater than she had calculated. They always are. Only $1.87 to buy a present for Jim. Her Jim. Many a happy hour she had spent planning for something nice for him. Something fine and rare and sterling. Something just a little bit near to being worthy of the honor of being owned by Jim. Being owned by Jim. All right, I'll continue. There was a pier glass between the windows of the room. Perhaps you have seen a pier glass in an $8 flat. A very thin and very agile person may, by observing his reflection in a rapid sequence of longitudinal strips, obtain a fairly accurate conception of his looks. I'm going to translate that thin vertical slats of glass. And if you were really thin, you could almost see your entire reflection in it. Yeah. So Della, being slender, had mastered the art. Suddenly she whirled from the window and stood before the glass. Her eyes were shining brilliantly, but her face had lost its color within 20 seconds. Rapidly she pulled down her hair and let it fall to its full length. Now there were two possessions of the James Dillingham Youngs in which they both took a mighty pride. One was Jim's gold watch that had been his father's and his grandfather's. The other was Delah's hair. Had the Queen of Sheba lived in the flat across the air shaft, Delah would have let her hair hang out the window someday to dry, just to depreciate. Okay, I wonder if this is a misprint. Sorry, this is two different pages. The other was Delia's hair. Had the Queen of Sheba lived in the flat across the air shaft alley, Delia would have let her hair hang out the window someday to dry, just to depreciate. Her Majesty's jewels and gifts. Oh, depreciate Her Majesty's gold. Okay, so there was a printing error, and I didn't know where the sentences started. So meaning her hair is more glorious than the Queen of Sheba's. So she could have shamed her by going. All right, now. Had King Solomon been the janitor, with all his treasures piled up in the basement, Jim would have pulled out his watch every time he passed, just to see him pluck at his beard from envy. So now Delah's beautiful hair fell about her, rippling and shining like a cascade of brown waters. It reached below her knee, dang, and made itself almost a garment for her. Then she did it up again nervously, quickly. Once she faltered for a minute and stood still while a tear or two splashed upon the worn red carpet. On went her old brown jacket, on went her old brown hat, with a whirl of skirts and with the brilliant sparkle still in her eyes. She fluttered out the door and down the stairs to the street. Where she stopped, the sign read, Mimi Sofroni, hair goods of all kinds. Mimi probably means mercantile. One flight up, Adela ran and collected herself, panting. Madam, large, too white, chilly, hardly looked like the Sofronic. Will you buy my hair? Asked Dela. There is a picture. I buy hair, said Madam. Take your hat off and let's have a sight at the looks of it. Down rippled the brown cascade. $20, said Madam, lifting the mass with a practiced hand. Give it to me quick, said Dela. Oh, and the next 2 hours tripped on rosy wings. Forget the hashed metaphor, she was ransacking the stores for Jim's present. She found it at last. It surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the stores, and she had turned all of them inside out. It was a platinum fob chain, simple and chaste in design, but properly proclaiming its value by substance alone and not by meretricious ornamentation, as all good things should do. Hey, good night. Good night, Wildcat. Okay, translation. A platinum fob for his watch, so he could put his pocket watch in the front pocket, and a platinum chain, not a gold one, a platinum one would be on his breast coat button thing right here. So every time he whipped out his watch, he had a bling chain on it and a gold watch. Plus, there's a superstition. You cannot mix silver and gold. So everybody would know that that's platinum, or he was doing something against cultural, what do you call that? Cultural tradition. It's a superstition that bad luck happens to you if you mix silver and gold. So, of course, it would be a platinum chain. And it would be properly proclaiming its value by substance alone. Yeah, it doesn't need any extra diamonds or bling on it. It's platinum. It was even worthy of the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that it must be Jim's. It was like him. Quietness and value, the description applied to both. $21 they took from her for it. I wish I could buy a platinum chain for $21. Hmm. What's current value of platinum? About two grand an ounce, at least. $21 they took from her for it, and she hurried home with the 87 cents. With that chain on his watch, Jim might be properly anxious about the time in any company. Grand as the watch was, he sometimes looked at it on the sly on account of the old leather strap he had used in place of a chain. Yeah, how goes? When Dela reached home, her intoxication gave way to a little prudence and reason. She got out her curling irons and lighted the gas, and went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity added to love. She's trying to curl her short hair now with a real fire, like dang fire stove. Old curling irons before electricity were just cast iron cylinders, and you put them in the stove, and hopefully they were cool enough that they didn't burn your hair when you put your hair around it. The cast iron is black no matter what temperature, so I guess you would And we think we have it rough, us women now. She got out her curling irons and lighted the gas and went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity added to love, which is always a tremendous task, dear friends, a mammoth task. I'm glad this male author knows. Within 40 minutes, her head was covered in tiny, close-lying curls that made her look wonderfully like a truant schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully, and critically. If Jim doesn't kill me, she said to herself before he takes a second look at me, he'll say I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. Woo! Man, men used to slap each other and duel if somebody said that about your woman. Right? But what can I do? Oh, what can I do with $1.87? At 7 o'clock, the coffee was made, and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. Jim was never late. Neela deviled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. Then she heard his step on the stair away down on the first flight, and she turned white for just a moment. I'm white all the time. She had a habit of saying little silent prayers about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered, "Please, God, make him think that I am still pretty." The door opened, and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow, he was only 22, and to be burdened with a family. He needed a new overcoat, and he was without gloves. Jim stopped inside the door, as immovable as a setter at the scent of quail. You know, the pointing dogs. His eyes were fixed upon Delia, and there was an expression in them that she could not read. That terrified her. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she'd been prepared for. He simply stared at her fixedly, with that peculiar expression on his face. Delia wriggled off the table and went for him. "Jim, darling," she cried, "don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off. I sold it because I couldn't live through Christmas without giving you a present. I'll grow it out again. You won't mind, will you? I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You know, you don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I've got you." "You've cut off your hair?" asked Jim laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet, even after the hardest of mental labor. "Cut it off and sold it," said Delia. "Ah, don't you like me? Just as well, anyhow. I'm me without my hair, ain't I?" Jim looked around the room curiously. "You say your hair is gone," he said with an air of almost idiocy. "You you needn't look for it," Delia said. It's sold. I tell you, it's sold and gone. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me, for it went for you. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered." She went on with a sudden serious sweetness, "But nobody could ever count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim?" Out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He enfolded his Delia. For 10 seconds, let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. $8 a week or $1 million a year. What's the difference? A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but this was not among them. This dark assertion, this dark assertion will be illuminated later on. Jim drew a package from his overcoat and threw it upon the table. Don't make any mistake, Dell, he said, about me. I, I don't think there's anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less. But if you'll unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and the paper. And then an ecstatic scream of joy. And then, alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the Lord on the flat. For there lay the set of combs, side and back, that Dela had worshipped for so long in a Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure tortoiseshell, jeweled rims, just a shade to wear in the vanished beautiful hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. And now they were hers, but the tresses that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes. Did we just? Hopefully we're back. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows fast, Jim. Fast." And the dealer leapt up like a little singed cat and cried, "Oh, oh!" Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. "Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You'll have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. "Deal?" he said. "Let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while. They're too nice to us just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs. And now, I suppose you put the chops on. I imagine that's lamb chops." The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And here I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. But the last word to the wise of these days, let it be said that of all who give gifts, these two were the wisest. Of all who give and receive gifts such as they are wisest. Everywhere they are the wisest. They are the Magi. Now that was fun. When did this come out? I may have had to read this in like 7th grade or something. The Gift of the Wise Man, A Christmas Story by O. Henry. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in school I was forced to read this, but it was fun. What is the publication date? New York, Burton Company. Oh, no, 1905. Copyright 1905. How cute is this? And did we just end up perfect on the time? Yeah, we're 5 minutes over. So let's see if we move on over to 41 South's channel now. Oh, speak of the devil. You say you're setting up in 5 minutes. Yeah. Just let me know when you're ready, and so I'll tell the people like what we're doing. Did you like the story, guys? That was a good one, Desi. So yeah, Cheryl says people read it from paper. Now it's on a phone. Right. So let's go to what'd you think, Shaz? What'd you think? All right. Oh, the Southern people of England. Oh, okay. They don't like you unless you're them. Okay. I have a funny story about meeting an Englishman on a train in the West, on the West Coast. It's a train from Oregon to Sacramento. And when they call you up for dinner, um, if you're first class, you get to the special first class dinner compartment, and it's a gourmet dinner no matter what. It's like a really nice restaurant dinner on Amtrak. I was in business class this time, and so I got to eat with business class types and the overflow of the first class. So they could either wait for their snooty first class only car, which, boy, if you accidentally step one foot in there, you're ushered out as if you were like a dog in a butcher shop. You're like, oh, okay, so 41 South just went live because I subbed him and I just got a note on the screen. It says live with Kathryn. I'm embarrassed now. Gee. I'm usually just one of his guests. Um, so what we're doing is we're going to go to his channel. He says he's going to be ready in about 5. And I'll be a guest on his channel. And I'll move over to the computer, use the crappy webcam thing over there. Because I'm going to let the fire die down as I got to close the flue eventually tonight. So live in front of the hot coals might not be that exciting, right? So we'll set that up. So 41 South is awesome. It's Chris Titleman, or whatever. I can never pronounce his last name. As you know him from last year, he just changed his YouTube handle name. Oh, you're live now? Let's do this? Okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you the story on his channel, guys. So you can click on his name. It's 41 South, like his chat name, or just type that into YouTube. And I'll be a guest on his program as soon as I get my computer set up. And then we'll talk there. Chris is up. Let's do this. He's totally awesome. And see you on that flip side, guys. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas to all, and to all good night.